बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वालैहि वसल्लम अल्लाहुम्मा रब्बि ज़िदनी इल्मा सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वालैहि वसल्लम आमीन अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन. In this lecture, I will discuss the solutions of P1 variant 1-2 of June 21. Well, all these instructions are very important, especially this last one. Give non-exact numerical answers correct to 3 significant figures or 1 decimal place for angles in degrees, unless a different level of accuracy is specified in the question. Always go through and follow these instructions before solving the paper. Some important tips to solve the paper in a good way. Number 1, avoid careless mistakes. Number 2, avoid shortcuts. Number 3, read the questions carefully. Number 4, do neat work. Question number 1. Express 16x square minus 24x plus 10 in this completed the square form. To express this into this form, I always use comparing the coefficient method, which is the best method to express this into this form. According to comparing the coefficient method, we first need to equate these two like this. Number 2, we need to expand this. Number 3, we compare the coefficients of like powers of x on both sides. So by comparing the coefficient of x squares, we have 16 is equal to 16. By comparing the coefficient of x on both sides, we have 8a is equal to minus 24. Therefore, we have a which is minus 3. By comparing the constant terms on both sides, we have a square plus b is equal to 10. And by substituting the value of a here, which is minus 3, we have the value of b. After getting the values of a and b, make sure you must substitute these values into equation 1 and must give your answer in this form. This is the express form. So always give your answer in this form. Number 2, or part B. It is given that the equation, if you observe this equation carefully, then you will see that this is the same equation of part A. So you can substitute this thing here. So after substituting this thing here, we have this thing. So finally we have this equation. So it is given that this equation, where k is a constant, has exactly one root. One root means this expansion must be 0. Because if this expansion is 0, then we get one answer. So has exactly one root means the expansion, this expansion must be 0. This is the logic of this statement. Find the value of this root means find x. So first we need to bring this one here. Since this must be 0, that means this must be 0. So k minus 1, for one solution k minus 1 must be 0 and k is 1. So if we put 1 here, then this is 0 and hence this expansion is 0. By solving this expansion, we have the root. That's the final answer. So make sure you understand the meaning of this statement. This statement means the expansion 4x minus the whole square must be 0. And this will be 0 when k is 1. After substituting 1 here, this is equal to 0. And finally we have the root. Question number 2. 2 part A. The graph of y is equal to f of x is transformed to this graph. Now, make sure you must understand these things. This 2 means, this minus 1 means, this minus 1 means translation of vector 1 0, and this 2 means vertical stretch factor 2. Describe fully the two single transformations which have been combined to give this resulting transformation. So if you know the basics of the transformations, if you are good at transformations of functions, then you can easily understand what is meant by this minus 1 and what is meant by this 2. So this minus 1 means translation vector 1 0, and this 2 means vertical stretch factor 2. Now this is the horizontal transformation and this is the vertical transformation. So when we have HV or VH, we can explain in any way. When one is horizontal and the other one is vertical, then we can express in any way. We can describe the transformation in any way, like HV or VH. I did this in this way. So translation vector 1 0 followed by vertical stretch with factor 2. This is the description of this combined transformation. So first recognize the transformation and then describe the transformation according to these rules. I discussed these things in detail in my lecture summary of transformations of functions. Next part. B. The curve y is equal to 2x minus 5x is reflected in the y-axis. When you reflect anything about y-axis, you change the sign of x coordinate. So you need to replace x by minus x. And then stretch by factor 1/3 in the x direction. This means horizontal stretch. So whatever the factor is given, we always write its reciprocal in the equation. So 1/3 will become 3x. We replace x by 3x, this x. So we need the equation of the resulting graph or resulting curve. So number one, we need to, and we have to perform transformation in this order. First we have to do this and then we have to do this. This is the given order. First do this and then do this. So according to this thing reflected in the y-axis, we need to replace x by minus x. So by replacing all x occurrences by minus x into this equation, we have this equation. And you all know this minus will come here. You have done this in trigonometry, that sine minus theta will become minus sine theta. So this is the equation after the reflection in the y-axis. Now for scale factor 1/3 and horizontal stretch, replace x by 3x. Replace all x occurrences by 3x. So when you will replace all x by 3x, you will get this equation. This is the final answer. This is the equation of the resulting graph. So if you are good at transformation of functions, then fine, otherwise you must watch my lectures on transformations of functions to be good at this topic. You can find those lectures on the playlist of the channel. Question number 3. The equation of a curve is this. The following points lie on the curve. Non-exact values are rounded to 4 decimal places. Find k and give your answer up to 4 decimal places. So for k, we need to put this point into this equation. When we will substitute this point into this equation, then we will get this value of k. 4 decimal places. Part B, find the gradient of AE. So we have A, we have E, we can easily get the gradient by using this formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and give your answer up to 4 decimal places. The last part of this question. The gradients of PE is this, CE is this, and DE is this respectively. If you observe these gradients, then you will see that these gradients are increasing. This is 4.8 and this is 7.5, like 7.48, 9.75, and this is 9.7. This is approximately 2. So gradients are increasing. Now part C, state giving a reason for your answer. What the values of the 4 gradients suggest about the gradient of the curve at the point E. Let's suppose this is the point E and this is the tangent. And these are the chords B, E, C, E, D, E. These are the chords B, E, C, E, D, E. This is the rough sketch. So gradient at E, E is the last point. So gradient at E could be approximately 2 because these things are tends to 2. So gradient at E should be 2. Why? Because these gradients are 10 to 2 and E is the last point. This is the another reason that E is the last point. So the gradient at E is the limit of the gradients, and the limit of these gradients is 2. You can also write your answer in this way, 2.000, 4 decimal places. This and this both are fine. So gradient is 2 because these gradients tend to 2, and since E is the last point, so the gradient at E is the limit of the gradients. This is the last point. You can take the screenshot of this solution if you want. Question number 4. The coefficient of x in this expansion is p. This expansion has power 3, so if you want to expand this, you can by using binomial theorem. You have choice. Well, you have 2 options to get the coefficient of x from this expansion. Number 1, you can expand this, and number 2, you can use this formula to get the value of r, which will tell you the term which contains coefficient of x. So you have 2 options. If you will use this formula, then you will get R1, meaning this is the second term. So if you put 2 here, like this entire thing, this is 2, when R is 1, this will become 2. So you will get the coefficient of x from this expansion, which is 480. So we have 2 options. Number 1, we can expand this and get the coefficient of x. Number 2, we can use this formula and get the value of r, which is 1. According to this formula, r is 1, and we can get the coefficient of x. So you can use any method. So 480, this 480 is p, because it says the coefficient of x in this expansion is p. So coefficient of x in this expansion is 480, so p is 480. Now it is given that the coefficient of 1 upon x in this expansion is q. This is the way to use this formula to get the value of r. See, first you need to substitute a, b and n into this formula. When you will substitute a, which is 2x, you will get this thing, b is k upon x square, 5cr, and this thing. Now see how to simplify this, how to get the value of r from this. So you just need to bring x from this formula here and here. So when you will take out x from this equation, you will get x power 5 minus r, and this x will become x power minus 2r, because when you will bring this in numerator, it will become minus 2r. This is the simplified form of this. Now you need to equate this with 1 upon x. Now bring this x in numerator. So r is 2. This is the way to get the value of r with the help of this formula. I'm again saying this thing that you have two options to solve this question. Number one, you can expand this and get the coefficients of the required terms. Or number two, you can use this formula to get the values of r. You have options. So the coefficient of coefficient of 1 upon x from this expansion is this 80k square, because r is 2. When you will put 2 over here, you will get this thing. I substituted this 2 here and I got this thing. And when I simplified this, I got 80k square. This is the coefficient of x square, 1 upon x in this expansion. And the coefficient is q, so q is 80k square. So first get the value of r with the help of this formula, which is 2, and then substitute this 2 here, and then simplify this to get the coefficient of 1 upon x, which is 80k square. Now equate this 80k square with this coefficient q. Now it is given that p is 6q. Now use this equation, p is 6q, and get the values of k. So p is 480, q is 80k square, so k is plus minus 1. This is the final answer. Next question. The function f is this for this domain. We need the expression for f2x. Fx means f2x. So for ffx or f2x, we need to replace this x of f by this thing. For the expansion of ffx, we need to replace x of f by f. So replace this x by f and then just simplify this. This is f. This should be here. That's the final answer. Part B. Now solve this equation. This is very simple. Make sure when you will solve any equation, and if domain is given, then always check your answer with the given domain. So when you will solve this equation, when you will substitute this thing here, you'll get this equation. First you need to bring everything on left side, then you need to take 2 common, then you have to break the middle term, and finally we have 2 values of x here and 2 values of x here. Now we have to check the domain. The domain means positive values. So the final answer is x1 and x half according to this domain. This step is important. You have to show the working of the breaking of the middle term. You cannot use calculator to write these answers. These answers will not be acceptable if you don't show this step. You will lose simply one mark if you won't show this step. Next question, number 6. Points A and B have coordinates 8, 3 and PQ. This is A and this is B. The equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB is this. This is the rough sketch. This is AB and this is the perpendicular bisector of AB. And this bisector has this equation. Since the gradient of this line is -2, therefore gradient of this bisector is also -2. Because this is bisector, so the gradient of this line should be 2, -2. Since this is the perpendicular bisector of AB, therefore this intersection point is the midpoint of AB. And the gradient of AB must be inverse reciprocal of this gradient, which is half. Now we need the coordinates of B. For that we need to find coordinates of M first. And for M we must have equation of AB. So first work for equation of AB. We have gradient of AB, we have A, we can get the equation of AB, which is this. Now for M, we need to solve this equation and this equation simultaneously. So by solving this and this simultaneously, we have the values of M, which is 2, 0. Now since M is the midpoint of AB, so we can easily get B by using midpoint formula. So with the help of midpoint formula, we have P minus 4 and Q minus 3. So A, the coordinates of B are minus 4 and minus 3. Always make the rough sketch to understand the situation well. Next question, number 7. The point A has coordinates 1, 5 and the line L has gradient minus 2 upon 3. Passes through A. So L has two things. Gradient of L is minus 2 upon 3 and L passes through A. A circle has center 5, 11 and radius under root 52. This is the rough sketch. This is the circle with center at 5, 11 and radius under root 52. And show that L is the tangent to the circle at A. Now at A means this distance must be under root 52. If the question is show that L is tangent to the circle, that's it. If this is the question, then you can prove this with the help of this formula. But if it says show that L is the tangent to the circle at A, then you have to prove this thing with the help of radius. Like this CA distance must be under root 52, which is radius. So that means we have to prove this thing. We need to show this thing, that under root modulus CA should be R, which should be under root 52. So first we need to find this distance CA, and this distance is under root 52, which is R. Hence shown that L is tangent to the circle at A. So make sure you use distance formula to prove this. Don't use this gradient thing. Because to prove that L is tangent to the circle at A, then this distance must be radius. Next part of this question. B. Find the equation of the other circle of radius under root 52 for which L is also the tangent at A. So you just need to understand that L is line of reflection of these two circles. So if L is the line of reflection, then the image of this circle is here. And this A is the midpoint of these two centers. So you just need to get the coordinates of center of this circle with the help of midpoint formula. So by using midpoint, since A is the midpoint of CE, therefore the coordinates of E are minus 3 and minus 1. And this is the equation of this circle. X minus A whole square, Y minus B whole square is equal to R square. So when you will substitute minus 3 here, you will get plus 3, plus 1, 52. Make sure you write 52 because this is R square. Rough sketches always help us to solve the question, to understand the question well and to solve the question easily. Now question number 8. The first, second and third terms of an AP are this and this. So listen, whenever 3 consecutive terms of AP are given, then always remember this formula. T2 minus T1, T3 minus T2 is D. And this is the formula for 3 consecutive terms of GP. And it says A and B are positive constants. The first, second and third terms of a GP are this and this. So For 3 consecutive terms of GP, always use this formula, and for 3 consecutive terms of AP, always use this formula. These formulas are very important. These formulas make the calculations very simple. So we just need to substitute T1, T2, T3, these 3 terms into this formula. So when we will substitute these things into this formula, we'll get B is equal to 2A. When you will solve these two, you'll get B is equal to 2A. And when you will substitute the first 3 terms of this GP into this formula, you will get this equation. So you just need to substitute 2A here. B is 2A. When you will solve this, you'll get the value of A, and you have to ignore the negative value of A because A and B are positive constants. After finding the value of A, we can easily find the value of B by substituting A here, and we can also find D by substituting A here. When you will simplify this, you will get 0.5A. Since A is 12, so D is 6. Now the second part of this question, find the sum of the first 20 terms of the AP. So this is so simple. If you know the formula of Sn of AP, you can easily do this. So S20 is 20 upon 2, 2A, 20 minus 1 times D. That's the answer. Next question, number 9. The diagram shows part of the curve with the equation. This is the curve, x5 and y1. The shaded region, this is the shaded region, rotated 360 degrees about the x-axis. Find the volume obtained. We need this volume. So for that we need this limit. We know the y coordinate of this point is 1, so if we substitute 1 here, we'll get x coordinate, which is 3. So this is the lower limit and this is the upper limit, and this is the upper curve and this is the lower curve. So we need to find this volume like this. Volume generated by curve minus volume generated by this line. Curve minus line. Make sure you must write pi with both the integration formulas. So when you will integrate this, you will get this thing, power 2 divided by 2, and this one will become x. The equation of this line is y is equal to 1. This is here. And the formula of volume is pi y square dx. So when you will apply the limits, you will get this answer. So this question is very simple. You just need to use right formulas. And make sure you give your answer in terms of pi. This is the exact answer. Next question, number 10. We need to prove this thing. So by taking left hand side and by taking the LCM of this left hand side, we have this. This will become power 2 and this will become power 2 after taking the LCM. Now this will become a minus b, a plus b. So 1 minus sine square x, and you can expand this and this with the help of a plus b whole square and a minus b whole square formula. So make sure you use bracket here. This will become cos square x, and in numerator after the simplification we have 4 sin x. We can write this as we can write cos square x as cos x. So this will become tan x, and this will remain cos x, and this is what we had to show. Next part of this question. Hence solve this equation. So we will not solve this thing, we will replace this by this first, and then we will solve this equation. This Hence word means replace this by this thing. Now never cancel these two 10. Always factorize this equation. So first you need to multiply this here. Again you cannot cancel these two 10. You need to bring everything on left hand side. So when you will set this equation to 0, then you can easily take tan x common like this. So tan x is 0, cos x is half. So according to this domain, the answer is 0 and this answer is pi by 3. This is very important, never cancel these two tan. Always equate the whole equation to 0. Always bring everything on left hand side and then factorize the equation. Next question. The gradient of a curve is this, where k is a constant, and this is the stationary point. Stationary point means dy upon dx is 0 at this particular value of x. So whenever stationary point is given, that means dy upon dx 0 at this value of x. For k, we need to put this thing into this equation. So first put this to 0 and substitute x by 2. So k is 3 upon 2. Find the equation of the curve means we need to integrate this. So when we will integrate this, we'll get y on left hand side, and the integration form of this is here. We add 1 in power, this power will become 4. We divide this thing by the resulting power, and we multiply this 4 with the differential of this bracket, which is 3. You all know how to integrate composite functions, and the integration of this is very simple. This will become x cube upon 2. By substituting this point onto this equation, into this equation, we can get the value c, which is 0. Hence, this is the final answer. This is the required equation of the curve. Next part, we need the second differential. For that, we need to differentiate dy upon dx. So when you will differentiate this, you will get d2y over dx2. This 3 will come here. This bracket is here with power 2, and the differential of this bracket is 3. This is the way to differentiate composite functions, and this will become 2x. So after the simplification, we have minus 3x. And this is the final answer of the second derivative. Now we have to determine the nature of this point. So this is very simple. We just need to put 2 here and here. And we just need to observe the answer of second derivative, which is positive. So this point is minimum. If the answer of second derivative is positive, then the point is minimum, otherwise maximum. This point is minimum. Next question. The diagram shows a cross section of 7 cylindrical pipes, each of radius 20 centimeter. So this radius is 20. Held together by a thin rope which is wrapped tightly around the pipes. The centers of the 6 outer pipes are A, B, C, D, E and F. Points P and Q are situated where straight sections of the rope meet the pipe with center A. Show that PAQ is pi by 3. Now, I will solve this part with by two methods. So, method number 1. So according to method number 1, See, this is 20, this is 20, this is 20, this is 20, 20, 20. So this triangle is isosceles, equilateral. So this angle, all angles must be pi by 3. So this is pi by 3. See, this is rectangle. Because this is tangent to this circle and this is tangent to this circle. So this is rectangle, QSPA. So all angles are 90 degree. So this angle is pi by 3. See, this one is pi by 3. This is pi by 2. So this is the straight line. You all know that this line is the perpendicular bisector to chord PQ. This line. And this angle is on a straight line on this line. So we have this pi by 3, this pi by 2, so we can easily get this angle. So this must be pi by 6. So pi minus pi by 3, pi by 2 will give you pi by 6. And since this line is perpendicular bisector, so this angle is also pi by 6. You all know this thing. You have done this in O levels, that center to chord line is perpendicular bisector. This is perpendicular bisector. So these angles are always same. So this is pi by 6, this is pi by 6, therefore the total is pi by 3. So this is the first way, first method of getting this answer. Let me repeat it. This triangle is equilateral. So this angle is pi by 3. This is pi by 2 because this is rectangle. And this angle is on a straight line on this line. So pi minus pi by 2 minus pi by 3 will give you this pi by 6. So this and this answer is also pi by 6 because this is perpendicular bisector of chord PQ. So this total is pi by 6 plus pi by 6, which is pi by 3. The working is here. So this is the first method. See, pi by 3, this is pi by 2, this is here. I've given all the reasons. This is pi by 6, adjacent angle means straight line. This is also pi by 6 because AM is perpendicular bisector. So finally PAQ is pi by 3. This is method number 1. This method is very simple. Method 2. Method 2 is similar to method 1. In method 1 I made this triangle. In method 2 I made this triangle as well. This and this. This triangle is equilateral, this is also equilateral. So this is pi by 3, this is also pi by 3. This angle is 90 because of rectangle, and this is also 90 because of rectangle or parallel lines. So angle at a point. We have all the angles 1, 2, 3, 4, we need this angle. So this theta should be 2 pi minus this. This is method 2. See, number 1 I gave the reasons of these two angles, that these two triangles are equilateral, so these two angles are of pi by 3. Next I gave the reason of these two angles, that these two are rectangle. Next, final answer is very simple, angle at a point. So you have both the methods, you can use any method. You can use this method to get this answer, or you can use this method. Both methods are fine. Next point, find the length of the rope. We need this length, this outer length. So we have 6 straight sections. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this length is consist of 6 straight sections and 6 arcs. This is one arc, second arc, and 6 arcs. So 6 straight sections. This straight section has length 40 because of this radius and this radius. This is 20 and this is 20, so this total is 40. So 40 times 6. And this arc has length r theta. We know r is 20 and theta is pi by 3. So this is the total length. Exact answer. Next part. See, find the area of hexagon. We need this area. This is hexagon. This is very simple. Just find area of one triangle and multiply it by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles, sorry. So area of 6 triangles, OAB. So get the area of this triangle. This is very simple. You know this is 40, this is also 40, this angle is pi by 3, you can easily get the area of triangle. So area of triangle is half AB sine C. That's the final answer. Finally, we need area of this diagram. We have area of this hexagon. We just need areas of these 6 rectangles. This is one rectangle. So the total area of this is area of hexagon, area of 6 rectangles plus this area. So area of hexagon, area of 6 rectangles plus area of sector APQ. This total area. So we have 3 things: hexagon, rectangles, and sector. This sector APQ. We have 6 sectors of this. So rectangle 20 into 40 and sector is very simple. That's the final answer, exact answer. So leave your answer as it is. You can take the screenshot of this solution if you want. This is the method 1 of part A. This means PQ. You can take the screenshot of this method 1. This is method 2. This one. Part C and part D. This question is important. A lot of calculations were involved in the solution of this question. Well, an important advice for me and for everyone: we must be positive. Best of luck. I hope this lecture will help you to understand the way to solve the papers of P1 and this paper as well. Best of luck. Allah Hafiz.